Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Longlegs, one of the most anticipated horror films of the year, from writer-director Oz Perkins, son of Anthony Perkins, and the creator of The Black Coat's Daughter, and some other films as well along the way, including Gretel and Hansel. And this film is a mix of satanic, cultish serial killer being chased in an FBI procedural film. And it definitely has a lot to honor by, like, Silence of the Lambs. You could definitely feel that. Except the atmosphere that Perkins creates is so very different than what Jonathan Demme did in Silence of the Lambs. This is sharp. It is symmetrical. It is unnerving to watch. The camera angles, how everything is framed, the texture of this 90s film look, the flashback sequences in our little squared aspect ratio, and feeling very much like a home video. This film has atmosphere upon atmosphere upon atmosphere. It is haunting. It is unnerving. Perkins understands how to use what's in the background, like framing a shot where you have a character on the phone and you see a open doorway behind them, and building up that tension of that you think at any given moment something or someone is going to walk through that door. And Perkins knows exactly when to pull the trigger on those moments and when not to continue to build that anticipation and tension. That is a strength here. This film is beautifully shot, and cinematographer Andres Arochi with Perkins creates such a striking film. The scares. There is a heavy usage of sound. The music is unsettling and unnerving. There are big sound mixes when shocking moments happen. Like the opening scene of a little girl coming face to face with this stranger, and then right when the stranger tries to reveal his face, bam! Shocking moment, scare, sound, cuts to the credits. This film has a strange, unnerving type tone in that there's some really dark comedic moments that feel so unnerving in a film that is so dour and full of dread. The use of T-Rex, the band, their music, creates such an interesting musical scape to put some of these scenes in. And also how their lead singer, Mark Bolan, is leveraged by one of the characters in a visual standpoint, and it's so interesting how this film incorporates that. Makes for a very interesting opening credits sequence and ending credits sequence for sure. And this film, up until the very end, is gonna keep pushing your buttons to build up that tension, the hauntingness of it. There's sequences like on a farm, late at night, a lot of shadow. All you have is a little flashlight, and you're on edge at all times, wondering what's going to happen next. Then you have the story, which it's broken into 3 chapters. And I think the first chapter is really effective in building up the mystery and the tension of this situation. You introduce Agent Lee Harker, who is our main character, played by Michael Monroe. We understand her. We have these moments of heightening tension. And there's this mystery around these fathers massacring their families. And it keeps happening. There's these letters left by Longlegs, who is the serial killer. Chapter 2 really starts pulling on exactly who Longlegs is. And it's a different kind of unnerving experience as we spend more time with the serial killer, played by Nicolas Cage, who the film hides in creative ways until it's ready to really give us who this character is in full view. especially like the opening sequence, does such an amazing job of getting a great scare out of the audience and building the anticipation of finally seeing this grotesque looking Nicolas Cage in front of us. I do feel like by the time the third chapter rolls around, there's a lot of twists and turns that are shocking and unnerving and really revealing like the supernatural nature to this, the satanic nature of this story. And once we get into the third act, it's a lot more out in the open, and it's more of like a rush to get to the end, where it's more action heavy, thrill heavy, and I feel like it's just a little less interesting than those first two acts in this film. And I think because of that, the third act might feel a little underwhelming in some ways, and also one of the biggest driving forces of the film might not be as prominent as you might expect. Now, from a performance standpoint, Micah Monroe does such a great job of being strong, the stiff upper lip at times, but also this vulnerability in other moments, and we really connect with her, we empathize through that vulnerability. Nick Cage is going full uncaged in this movie, and he is campy, he is over the top, and I feel like some people will be like, well, he's not that scary. There's moments, there's this one face-to-face moment where he flips a switch and something completely different happens, and you're just like, you're put on edge. His performance is so darkly funny and strange and off-putting. He is psychotic. He is out there. And once you start to realize the pieces coming together in terms of what his actual, how he accomplishes what he is doing, is so harrowing and impactful in such an uncomfortable way. You have Blair Underwood as like the head agent type character. I think he does a really good job. Alicia Witt, who plays Lee Harker's mother, is mysterious and mercurial, and how she fits in the story is quite interesting, but Witt's performance is great. And one shout out specifically to Kiernan Shipka, who's only in one scene in this film and delivers an uneasy and really long-lasting, poignant performance that's going to like burrow under your skin, and you're going to feel that for a while. This film is not the horrifying jump scare kind of thing that you might expect. There is a dread, a foreboding atmosphere that is always encompassing this film. The twists and turns and the revelations will keep you on edge. The performances will drag you in and drag you down into the hellscape that this film is. And all the way up to a final shot, this film is completely committed to the atmosphere that it creates, that Oz Perkins just went full-blown with, and it really succeeded. But those are my thoughts on Longlegs. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.